Good morning.
Good morning.
Let's turn to the book of Hebrews, chapter 10. The book of Hebrews, chapter 10. Starting in verse 1, it says, "For the law, having a shadow of good things to come, and not the very image of the things, can never, with those sacrifices which they offered year by year continually, make the comers thereunto perfect. For then would they not have ceased to be offered, because that the worshippers, once purged, should have had no more conscience of sins. But in those sacrifices there is a remembrance again made of sins every year. For it is not possible that the blood of bulls and goats should take away sins. Wherefore, when he cometh into the world, he saith, Sacrifice and offering thou wouldest not, but a body hast thou prepared me. In burnt offerings and sacrifices for sin thou hast had no pleasure. Then said I, Lo, I come. In the volume of the book it is written of me, to do thy will, O God. Above, when he said sacrifice and offering, and burnt offering, and offering for sin, thou wouldest not, neither hadst pleasure therein, which are offered by the law. Then said he, Lo, I come to do thy will, O God. He taketh away the first, that he may establish the second, by the which will we are sacred, by the which will we are sanctified through the offering of the body of Jesus Christ once and for all. And every priest standeth daily ministering and offering oftentimes the same sacrifices, which can never take away sins. But this man, after he had offered one sacrifice for sins forever, sat down on the right hand of God." Now, the few first verses. Well, the first verse it says, "For the law having a shadow of good things to come, and not the very image of the things, can never, with those sacrifices which they offered year by year continually, make the comers thereunto perfect." These were shadows of good things to come, not the very image of the things, which meant, it's like, the law of Moses, because of sin and the remembrance that humanity always had a sinful nature, the law was there to remind people that they were sinners, and that sacrifices had to be made as a remembrance of what good things were to come. This was like a this was a rollover of sin sacrifices until the ultimatum of sacrifices were to come. It says in verse 3, "But in those sacrifices there is a remembrance again made of sins every year." So the sacrifices had to be made every year in remembrance of sins and remembrance of who was going to take care of the sins ultimately. And so in verse 12 it says, "But this man, after he had made one sacrifice for sins forever, sat down on the right hand of God." And this to me it kind of signifies that this was the ultimatum of the sacrifice of sins And he sat down on the right hand of God. It was like this is the ultimatum of the taking care of all man's system of sins in the past and the present and the future. And to sit on the right hand of God, it was like a period. The small dot ending a sentence. It's I've taken care of it. And so by that, he's already abolished sin.
Yeah.
And so he has already won the victory. We just kind of have to live through life trying to, we have to serve God, serve Jesus Christ. He's already taken care of our sinful nature, even though we're still sinners.
Yeah.
He's taken care of us. And so, with that, let's all stand.